made lunch. Let's talk. So if I look even a little bit happier than the last time you saw me, it's because the sun has finally decided to greet us in Brooklyn. And I think somewhere between it getting gloomy at 3:30 p.m. and it raining the last week has had me really down and out, to say the least. So as you've seen in the intro, I made Mongolian beef noodles. I really love the idea of us starting the video with a meal or a cool drink. Of course, I can leave any information about how I made it in the description, and that way you can make it once the video's over. But also you can come to the video with the food ready, so you can eat together or we can have a drink together and like just chat, because I think that could be really cool. I don't know. So today I really wanted to talk about what's going on social media, and specifically how social media is affecting us currently, because TikTok is supposedly going to get banned. I think we're all grateful in some way or another. But I think what's really kind of being brought to my attention is how addicted to TikTok I've really become, how normal and commonplace it is to use it in the morning or be on it at night, or the jokes that have come out of using TikTok and how common we all are just kind of scrolling and doom scrolling for our lives. And so I really wanted to get into the conversation of how we interact with social media. With social media, as we feel like we're on too much, and how we can maybe go about unplugging from social media in 2025, because that's definitely something that I'm trying to get a plan for, because I feel like I honestly can't go another year just being glued to my phone or being super plugged into the internet. I think at this point it's getting very concerning, actually, and has been for a while. So to start off our study, let's talk about TikTok. I think that being that I've been on TikTok since at least 2020, like pandemic time period, I spent so much time on TikTok at that time period. Like I was on it all day. Didn't have a job, of course, wasn't working, really just stressed out every day. So I was using TikTok to escape, I think, like most people were. But I think what is really the crazy part about it is that TikTok is this social platform that makes us feel more connected to people. I feel like we all love the comment section. That's where we live, really, on TikTok. That's what we do on TikTok. And now that you're able to repost things and you're able to find people who have had these shared experiences to you, it's so much different than looking for testimonials on YouTube or on Instagram. I personally also really like Reddit, and I love Substack because I like reading people's experiences, I suppose, too. But I guess TikTok just offers this very human camaraderie. Of course, you can call it confirmation bias. I mean, if you've got an opinion, weird or otherwise, someone's gonna agree with you on TikTok, guaranteed. But I think the real problem here is that for the people who are on TikTok as much as I am, it is beginning to replace real person experiences, real person conversations, real life connections. I'm someone who's very introverted, or really is more introverted than extroverted. And I find it really hard to push myself to get out, to meet people, to be in like constant conversation with someone, even if I like talking to them, because it just sometimes overwhelms me a lot. But TikTok, it feels like, oh, I can find someone in the comment section who agrees with me. Oh, cool. Okay, I found this video. Or I've begun to use TikTok as my Google, which is crazy. And I guess I just prefer to hear a person's experience than maybe the anxiety of going out in the world and searching for that person's experience, which we can do a fair bit of analysis on that another time. I digress. However, I think that is what's transforming TikTok from a place of just social media to a place of real dependency or real routine within your life, when it's not really meant to be that. Of course, there's other issues like the continuous scroll. You can just scroll endlessly. There is no end to TikTok. You can also be on live videos. It's a lot of things to do there that I think doesn't really present itself as an option on other social platforms. Like I've heard a lot of people say, Instagram is just not what it used to be. It's very performative, it's very cringe, it doesn't feel fun to post on there. And then there's other people who aren't chronically online and they still post to Instagram and they still have a good time doing it. And so I think for me in 2025, I really want to detach myself from the regularity of how often I'm on a lot of these apps. I think I've kind of narrowed it down. I love YouTube. I'm going to get back into YouTube, specifically longer form content. I'm going to delete my TikTok more than likely. And because I just don't feel like I have the willpower to lessen my time on it. I've been trying to do that for the last year and I just bypass a lot of the time blocks that I put on it. So I think it's gonna have to take me like really getting off of the app completely. Oh, another thing that really keeps you on the app is streaks. Y'all, we have to really get into this for a minute. Me and my Gen Z cousins have a streak going. I also had a previous streak going with my own mother. My mother and I's streak went on for 90 days. 90 days I was on the app consecutively to send off that streak, even when I didn't want to be, for the purpose of continuing the streak. My streak with one of my cousins is 120 days, and my streak with another is 145. Is this a cry for help? Maybe so. Definitely so. So with that being said, here are the ways that I plan to lessen my screen time, to get back into the real world, and to really reconnect with myself and my hobbies that do not revolve around social media, others' opinions, comment sections, trends, etc. So because I've noticed the situation getting worse over the last few months, I've already kind of started to shift a few of my habits and to start really plan what I want to do instead and how I want to change my attention to other things, or really even get into like fixing my attention span in general, which is actually suffering right now. The first thing I've decided to do is really pour back into my hobbies that are not connected to social media. So I love doing digital portraits. I recently got like an Apple pencil that's been really helpful for that. Well, it was an Insignia. Don't buy the Apple one. It's just more expensive, but the Insignia one's great. I got an Apple pencil, started doing digital portraits, which has been really fun because I can just lay in the bed and draw. And I've recently seen people have been coloring on Procreate, like putting coloring pages into Procreate and coloring on there. I think I might also start doing that because that could be kind of fun. The other thing I'd like to do is do some more tangible hobbies, meaning recently I took a class on making zines with one of my friends. I'd love to continue to do that. Also doing puzzles and scrapbooking and stuff like that. I've done a little bit of collecting, like what do they call it? Like kind of like a dump journal, a trash book. I don't know what it's called. It's like a journal where you're just putting like receipts and tags and things that you find. I've begun to do that as well, and that's been really helpful. So I can do a video on some of these hobbies, or like maybe I'll do the hobbies with you if you kind of want to do them together. That could be kind of cool. The other thing I'm really wanting to do is really simplify the apps that I am on. So earlier I talked about maybe just getting rid of TikTok in general. I think that really will have to happen, and I'll have to just kind of get with not being on a platform like that. I think it's going to be pretty difficult at first because I'm so used to the routine of it, but I really just have to kind of get over that hump because it's imperative that I do. So I'm going to be getting rid of at least one app that I think I frequent too much, or that I've become a little bit too dependent on. I think that'd be really helpful for me. The apps that I've been using in place of TikTok more recently has been Substack. Love her down. I love Substack. I think it's really fun to get on there and hear people's big brand opinions. I think TikTok has become kind of a place that's been riddled with a lot of conversation, or like sharing your takes on things. But for some reason, when I hear people's writings and I read what their thoughts are on Substack, it doesn't upset me or make me feel like you're trying to like rope me into something. A lot of people on Substack are just sharing their real experiences, or sharing their writings or their poetry. And I think that's really, really fun. So if you're into that, I definitely recommend it, because you might have a fun time reading things and finding deeper connections through people's words on Substack. So I've been doing that. It's really been working for me. I am on Substack if you want to follow me, because I post stuff on there that's like just true to real life. So you might get some of that content here, but if you don't, then you'll for sure get it on Substack. So I recommend going over there. I love Reddit, although Reddit's a really tricky and sometimes mean place. But I figured that Reddit would be a fun thing to get back into, because seeing that I use TikTok as a Google, I might find those shared experiences or those really niche experiences on Reddit differently than I would, you know, on a video-based platform. My cat is playing with a lid somewhere. I can hear him battering it around in the hallway. It's no respect for the set that we're on right now. So my husband and I used to have this passion project where we would watch new movies and new TV shows, and we would review them, and it was like this fun little coupley thing. And then he just decided that he hated my guts and he didn't want to do it anymore, which in reality he just lost interest. And so we kind of just did that project. However, it was fun to watch new stuff. I'm a creature of habit. I really struggle with like undiagnosed ADHD and very serious and actually diagnosed anxiety. And I sometimes find it hard to watch new things with unpredictable outcomes, where I don't know how things will end, and there's no formula to this experience, and that just brings me a lot of anxiety. So I find myself staying in my comfort zone, watching my comfort shows, which we can get into that if you want to talk about that, you and I. Staying in my comfort zone. And so I think for 2025, I'm going to start a watch list. On this watch list, I think it would be really cool to put movies and TV shows on there that have gotten a lot of hype that I've never watched. So what's a good one? I've never watched Criminal Minds. I just recently tried to watch NCIS. I like crime-based shows. And I've never seen Grey's Anatomy. I know that it's extremely devastating, so I'm not actually looking forward to watching it. But I think it could be cool to kind of start some of these projects. So specifically, I think I'm gonna pick like a handful of shows, a good amount of movies, and maybe either each week or every month have like a watch list goal, you know? I'd love to be the person who has a TBR and a book reading goal, but I just find that my attention span and my focus is not really geared towards a big reading list at the moment. So I'm gonna kind of work my way up to that. So I think that might be like a second tier option for me, where I read like essays and like some shorter form writing content and people's real experiences, and kind of diversify my learning and understanding of things around me that way. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, I definitely would love to do it together, or we can talk about some things that we want to watch or read in the new year. And of course you can start now. I mean, it's literally the middle of December. I think maybe even a really cool, funky, fresh hack to accomplishing your 2025 goals is to start now, and to set your intentions now, and just kind of start off feeling very empowered instead of waiting for the first day of the year to start, which I think kind of gets a lot of people and doesn't always ensure success. So yeah, those are all of my plans. Stay tuned for a vlog this week. I think kind of my style is going to be one sit down video, one vlog a week. And I'm going to sprinkle in some cooking content in there, because I used to cook in my prime, like I said before, and I really miss doing it, and I'm really trying to get connected to it again. And so I'd love to share what I'm making for dinner, little fun treats I'm doing, fun syrups for my coffee, things like that. So I'll try to start the videos with an intro that kind of shares what I'm cooking. And then of course, if you want me to do like a cheeky little one-off video of me cooking, I certainly can, or I might put that on like YouTube Shorts or like Instagram Reels or something like that. So as always, have a great week, and I will see you later this week. Girl, I already miss you. Bye.